Thousands of IRS agents are now being terminated. This according to a report by Reuters. This was an article posted earlier today. They write, U.S. IRS prepares to lay off thousands of workers, according to sources. The U.S. Internal Revenue Service, or the IRS, is preparing to fire thousands of workers in the coming days, a move that could squeeze resources at the tax collecting agency during this critical tax filing season. Oh no. Now, officials from the Office of Personnel Management, which oversees federal hiring, ordered all agencies on Thursday to dismiss their probationary employees, workers who are newer to their positions and do not enjoy full protections. And by the way, the IRS, I believe, has something like 16,000 probationary workers. In fact, they're going to talk about it here, so I've got ahead of myself. It is unclear, Reuters writes, how many thousands of employees would be fired at the IRS, whose workforce grew under the administration of former President Joe Biden to reach about 100,000 people, including roughly 16,000 probationary workers. Biden had sought to bolster the agency's operations, including its ability to audit corporations and wealthy taxpayers. Come on now. Come on. Imagine being stupid enough to actually believe that hiring 86,000 IRS agents was all about focusing on the couple of millionaires and billionaires in this country. Come on. Everybody knew that it was for more than that. Can you imagine being so brain dead to actually think, well, golly gosh, gee, the IRS just getting after them millionaires and billionaires, you know? Come on. What kind of crack did they think we were smoking? Now, of course, the media would back that up. But as we now know, thanks to DOGE, that's probably because they were taking money from the federal government. So, of course, they were pushing the propaganda mantra. It's good for business. Anyway, Reuters writes, the cuts will target all probationary employees who did not resign under a now disclosed buyout program or who have not been identified as essential to get through tax season, which is in full swing ahead of the federal return filing deadline of April 15th. One of the people familiar with the matters told Reuters, boy, oh boy, are they probably regretting not taking that money. Now, the IRS remains busy for months after the deadline, Reuters writes, processing returns and delivering refunds to taxpayers and, of course, doing the anal exam for people that they don't like or who they are suspicious of. They forgot to add that, but I'm putting it in there for good measure. The IRS layoffs, first reported by the New York Times, came as part of a broader effort by President Donald Trump and Elon Musk and DOGE's overhaul of the federal government, which they argue is too bloated and inefficient and ripe with waste and fraud. And boy, were they over the target. Yes, it was. Now, the IRS, Reuters says, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The second person familiar with the impending layoffs expressed concerns that the cuts would be made without care to how it might hinder the agency's operations. Oh no! This mythical person said they are trying to reduce numbers across the board with no analysis as to the impact it will have on operations. Oh, wow. Now there are critics, of course there are critics, who are complaining that the dismissal of thousands of employees in the coming days, not just with the IRS, will strain the much-needed resources during this crucial tax filing season. But the complaints are not being heard, not by anyone within the Trump administration. And worse still for the IRS, DOGE is on the scene. They are now investigating the IRS. The auditors, my friends, are now being audited. And we're all going to find out just how naughty or nice they've really been.
Gavin Clagger and others arrived today at the IRS. Do you expect to close the IRS, or what are you expecting?
No, I don't expect it, but I think that the Internal Revenue Service will be looked at like everybody else. Just about everybody's going to be looked at. So it's they're doing a hell of a job. It's an amazing job they're doing. And, you know, that force is building these, I call it the force of super geniuses, but it's building.
Of course he does.
You know, they go up and they talk to some of the people about certain deals, and the people get all tongue-tied. They can't talk because these people get it. They're very smart people. We need smart people, yes.
Of Social Security, and we've got people in there that are 150 years old. Now, do you know anyone that's 150? I don't know. Okay. They should be on the Guinness Book of World Records. They're missing out. So, you know, that's a case where, like, I think they're probably dead. It's my guess. Or they should be very famous, one of the two.
You know, it would not surprise me if Santa will be bringing the IRS a lot of coal this year. And my friends, we're only just getting started. Reports are indicating that the Trump administration is implementing widespread layoffs across all federal agencies. The estimates of federal government employees that are likely to be fired are around at least 200,000. And this initiative to fire these employees is just part of a larger effort to reduce the size of the federal government, their workforce as a whole. So the 200,000 federal employees that are on the chopping block now are those that have served less than 1 year. And there's another additional 288,000 employees who have served between 1 and 2 years who are also likely going to be targeted next. Now, for the moment, all these layoffs are primarily focusing on the probationary employees who typically have been employed for less than a year or up to 2 years in some cases. These workers have limited job security and lack the ability to contest their dismissals, so they'll be much easier to get rid of. Now, several federal agencies have already begun their layoffs now. The Department of Veterans Affairs, for example, have fired over 1,000 employees. The Department of Energy has already fired over 2,000 employees. And the Department of Education is also listed here, although they're just in the dozens for now. Then you've got the U.S. Forest Service. More than 3,400 employees have been laid off. Small Business Administration, multiple probationary employees have received their termination notices. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has fired 73. And even the National Nuclear Security Administration has let go of 300 staff members. So this goes back to the Trump administration's goal to shrink the federal government. And DOGE is the spearhead to make this happen. Trump's executive order requiring agencies to plan for widespread layoffs and attrition-based hirings is well underway. And so the pace just keeps on ramping up. Billions of dollars will be saved on government salaries, no longer being doled out to people who in many cases didn't deserve their paychecks. It's just one win after another for the voter base of Donald Trump. People that cast their ballot for Trump are ecstatic about all of this. And meanwhile, the Democrat Party just continues to flounder. This is an article from Axios trying to help their party figure out what in the world to do. This is titled Senate Democrats Trying to Regroup Ahead of the GOP Budget Barrage. They write, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is summoning his caucus for a rare Saturday conference call ahead of a potential reconciliation vote-a-rama next week. Why it matters, Axios writes. Senate Budget Chair Lindsey Graham budget package includes some $175 billion in border security spending, presenting a potential political minefield for Democrat senators. And the reason is they see the writing on the wall. The people want the border secure. If they vote against it, they're going to piss off a lot of voters. And they're already losing a lot of ground to Republicans right now. And Donald Trump is already killing them in the polls with his all-time high 53% approval rating nationally. So this is a political minefield for them. Now they write, Schumer is looking for opportunities to force Republicans to play defense by offering his own amendments to make them squirm. Senators want to discuss where they should stick together in opposition to the GOP and when they can allow their members to break ranks, according to people familiar with the matter, meaning where can we negotiate so we don't get killed in 2026? Now, Schumer, in their zoom out part of the article, writes, has given his members broad leeway on some controversial issues around immigration, like the Laken-Riley Act, which is why on day 2 of the Trump administration, 12 Democrats voted for it. They needed to do it to save their butts. The Democratic activists, though, are demanding that their elected lawmakers mount a more forceful response to President Trump's dismantling of the federal government. Of course, these people are living in delusion la-la land because this is what the people want. The vast majority of the American people want the deconstruction of the federal government, and the more that DOGE is exposing things, putting it out for the public to see, the greater that sentiment is going to be. Axios writes, but the reality for incumbent Democrats is that they don't have any immediate way to stop Trump. Damn it! Short of appealing to the federal courts, which I would argue is a even bigger problem for them in the long run. Bottom line, many lawmakers are deeply frustrated and even pissed with progressive pressure campaigns demanding that they do more to oppose Trump, as Axios reported. And they should be. They're hanging by a thread right now. The best thing the Democrat Party could do right now is lay low. Try to work with the Republicans. Try to find a better way to do what's being done to fix the federal government, to fix the border. Say, you know what? You guys aren't doing it the right way. Let's help. But of course, they can't really do that because they're married to their ideology of let's have semi-slaves for everybody. Free for all with illegal immigration. They're kind of married and trapped with this. This is part of what they wanted. This is why you're seeing such euphoria about it on social media. And just think, we're barely even getting started.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much.